3, 2, 1, go!
Remember, in this topic we are looking at the question of how to produce goods and services. Understanding how to produce goods and services allows us to increase the amount of goods and services that we can produce from scarce resources, thus allowing us to satisfy more of society's needs and wants. In this lesson, we will learn how specialization and division of labor can be used to help increase the efficiency of production. So specialization is where a firm, an individual, or a country specialize in the production of a specific good or service. For example, a firm like Apple can specialize in electronics, or BMW can specialize in producing cars. Nike can specialize in producing sportswear. In terms of countries, examples would be Germany specializing in the production of cars, or the UK specializing in the production of financial services, Italy specializing in the production of clothes, and Japan specializing in the production of electronics. For an individual, individuals can specialize in many ways. For example, a surgeon could specialize in heart surgery, or a chef could specialize in Chinese food. Similarly, a musician could specialize in classical music. Now that we know what specialization is, let's analyze some of the advantages and disadvantages of specialization for firms by using Apple as an example of a firm that specializes in the production of electronic goods. One advantage to Apple of specializing in the production of technological goods is that they will develop a high level of knowledge and expertise within their firm by focusing their time and resources on the development and innovation of a particular type of good. If Apple decided to produce clothes, for example, or other types of goods, then maybe their laptops and phones wouldn't be as good. An advantage of specialization to Apple is that they will produce a higher quality of goods, and this will help them to increase their sales and revenues, which can make them more competitive within their industry, leading to higher sales, profits, and more brand loyalty. There is, however, a downside to a firm specializing in the production of a particular good or service. In Apple's case, say for example there is a shortage of semiconductors or electrical components used to make their laptops and their phones. This will mean that Apple's production will stop altogether, as they are over-dependent on one particular type of good or service. This can lead to their business failing. Similarly, there may be very low levels of demand for electronic goods for some reason, and this will mean Apple will now no longer have customers. Now let's analyze the advantages and disadvantages of a country specializing in a particular good or service. There are a number of benefits derived from a country specializing in the production of a particular good or service. For example, Germany specializes in producing cars, meaning that again there is a high level of skill, knowledge and expertise within the country when it comes to producing cars. This allows Germany to increase its level of productivity and therefore reducing its costs of production and increasing efficiency. As a result of lower production costs, German cars will be more internationally price competitive, and this allows Germany to increase their exports of cars, injecting money into the German economy and allowing it to grow. German cars may also be of a higher quality due to specialization, and this can also increase their competitiveness with foreign manufacturers. The disadvantage of specialization for a country is similar to the disadvantage to a firm. If the German economy is over-dependent on the production of cars, then they will be vulnerable to supply side and demand side shocks, meaning that they will have no other ways to generate income within their economy. Remember, economics is about the fundamental problem of scarcity. The use of specialization allows for increases in productivity and efficiency, leading to higher outputs of goods and services from scarce resources. Ultimately, the application of this concept allows society to meet more needs and wants. Division of labor is where workers are assigned specific tasks within the production process. This is usually done in order to increase the efficiency and quality of production. Increasing the efficiency of production means that outputs are increased from the factors of production used, or inputs. For example, one worker does not build a whole car. There are some workers who work on the wheels, others on the engine, and some on the paintwork. What is the economic rationale behind dividing production amongst workers who specialize in specific tasks in the process? Well, if workers specialize in specific tasks, they will develop skills and expertise in what they do because they are performing the same task over and over again. This means that the production process will yield a higher output of goods and services and may also yield a higher quality of goods and services, satisfying more needs and wants from the finite inputs into the production process. So let's analyze some of the advantages and disadvantages of division of labor for a firm. Well, one advantage to a firm of dividing labor is higher productivity from workers who repeat the same tasks and therefore become more skilled. This increase in the skill and productivity of workers means that they will be more efficient, wasting less time and resources to produce output. Lower costs of production can also increase profits for firms. Another advantage of division of labor to a firm is that as workers are more productive, they will be able to produce a higher output. If workers then produce a higher output, well, the firm can therefore achieve higher revenues, and that can also lead to higher profits. The final advantage of higher productivity as a result of division of labor is that workers may be able to achieve higher wages. Therefore, they may be more motivated, have higher levels of morale, increase their output even more, and allow the firm to make more revenues and more profits. The reason workers may achieve higher wages is because if they are more productive, they are producing more output. If they're producing more output, firms can sell more goods and services, bringing more revenue in and allowing for wage increases. If a country specializes in producing a specific good or service, e.g. if Germany just produces cars, they will not be self-sufficient. In other words, they will lack other things that they need, for example food, television or clothes. In order for specialization to work, therefore, there needs to be a way for countries to exchange goods and services that they don't produce for the goods and services that they do produce. And this is where trade, money and exchange come into the story. Money makes it easier for countries or for people to trade because it solves a number of problems that may prevent trade from occurring. Number one, the issue of knowing how much of one good to trade for another good. Money is a unit of account. It's a measurement of value. For example, if there was no money and we operated what is known as a barter system, where goods and services are swapped one for another, how would we know how many cherries, for example, an apple is worth? Money allows us all to agree on the value of a good or service through markets setting prices. Money also solves the problem of the double coincidence of wants. In other words, for trade to occur without money, you must want what I want and I must want what you want. But with money, well, everyone wants money. So even if you have an apple and I have cherries, but you don't want my cherries, well, we both want money, so I can trade you money for the good or service that I want. Money is a store of value. Way back in the day, maybe I'd trade you some fish for some meat. But the problem with fish and meat is that fish and meat rot and therefore become untradeable. Finally, money is a deferred method of payment. In other words, money allows you to buy things and pay for them later. For example, credit cards. However, I can't buy something off you and pay you in meat later. Again, because meat might go bad.